Okay, ndimaona ngati tiyambe bwanji. So I'm sure that funso imene muli nayo padakali pano ndiyoti okay ase ukamba za digital economies. They fail ngini imene ndingapange pa digital economy po pa internet economy po ndiyo imene ingamatibweresere drama. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. I want to go as hands-on, as realistic as possible. So we're going to discuss this, of course, in the upcoming episodes as well. Then mafuna episode hiyo tingokhala litamenya overview. Ndikuoneseni za like all of the different things that can be done. Then tikhala ndi ma videos amene tikhala tikufotokoza chilichonse in depth. So zimene tafotokoze pano tikhala ndi video yapadera yoti chilichonse pacho tifotokoze tionese kuti okay, let's say mufuna mupange web design, mungambe motani, mungaphunzire motani, ndalama yake imene mungapange expect kuti muzipanga ndi yotani, zitenga nthawi yayitali bwanji. We're not going to talk about that in this episode, but episode ikhale yoti ndikupasa an overview ya china chilichonse. So you can start to look at okay, zimene Ineyo ndingapange ndiyani pa stuff imene awukamba it. Okay, so before we continue with the video, ngati mukufuna ma computers, ngati mukufuna like fairly used computers, ngati mukufuna ma phone ya brand new original, ma phone ya both, then please contact. I have a shop called Educate Store. We sell the lowest prices you can ever find in Malawi on phones, on laptops. My phone and my car brand new, and then my laptop and my car fairly used, but really good ones. We give you warranty. Please contact my sales team. They'll help you. They'll hook you up with a really good laptop. We have so many different good laptops from cheaper ones to really performant ones. So just you'll find the phone number on the screen and you'll find it in the description. Talk to us. Let's get a laptop, get a gadget. Okay. Then tikuona timvetsetse za digital economy first of all, because pali ma layers angapo digital economy. The first core layer, like the enablers of digital economy. That's the core layer of the digital economy. Then tukamba za hardware, okay, tukamba za telecommunications, then tukamba za platforms. So tikamagamba za hardware ndoti tukuona no ma businesses amene akumagulitsa or akupanga ndi kumagulitsa ma hardware amene akutithandiza kuti tikhale pa digital economy. So we're looking at ma gadgets, ngati ma computers, ma phone, even big platforms and things like that. Now I know my companies, if Ineyo so ndi company yanga Educate, we have a store, timagulitsa ma phone, timagulitsa ma laptop. That's also part of the digital economy. Then tikamagamba za telecommunications, then tukamba noza makampani akulu. So of course, amene akumagulitsa amatipasa access ya internet ndi zina zotero. Now and then lastly we have software platforms. So big software platforms zimene akuzumathandiza kuti okay, for example, zomwe tukambirana papasi, okay, tukumapanga post, let's say pa Facebook, pa YouTube. Those are big platforms zimene zikupanga enable kuti tithe kumapanga any ndalama on the internet. So for example, if we talk about monetization on YouTube, we have YouTube as a platform, which is a big platform. And again, the business, yeah. Now, obviously, you look at that level, that core level, and you obviously see kuti even in the level of big one be like in the level, except for like kugulisa hardware and things like that, and hambiti tomapanga. Komano zama level if you have hundreds of millions, then you can go up ahead and do that. Then level number 2, okay, imeneyi nde tindi ma purely digital services and goods. Okay, purely or proper digital services and goods. Pamene fanzi ambiri timakhala pamene titha kupanga eni ndalama. Neti kamakamba za purely digital services and goods, neti tukamba za for example ma e-commerce platform, ndoti tukamba za ma retail platforms or ma e-commerce platform, ma streaming services, ma app stores, digital financial services, online advertising. Zimene zozo, okay, now proper digital services. Ngati muli ndi ma skills, for example, mumatopanga development platforms, let's say you're a software developer, things like that, you can also, have digital businesses on that space, okay? Where you're now taking advantage of hardware and taking advantage of infrastructure, like telecommunications, now to develop my platforms, ngati for example, if you're in the app, my app, where you can get jobs and things like that. So we are utilizing hardware and services, something like that. And then tindi layer ina no tsopano imene imakhala kuti we're just converting traditionally non-digital services. So for example, let's say agriculture, as healthcare, as education, to convert kuti zikhale digital, or to wonder, okay, how can we take advantage of the digital economy by converting these into the digital counterparts? So you will see, if you take a look at those three core layers, you see, there's just so much opportunity, there's so much possibility of things that can be done. Kandiwe muntu wa agriculture, kandiwe muntu wa education, kandiwe muntu wa healthcare, you have a place on the digital economy. Let me tell you this. Now think about this story. It's a true story, okay, about my experience. I told you in the previous episode, kuti kwatu like ndakulira kunkhate ku East Bank. Now remember when I was in primary school, kunali kunkhate koseko like ku East Bank, kunali markets anasana bwere. And we would wake up maybe at 6 a.m., right? And then we would go to sleep at ikamagwana so 6 madzulo. Dzulo likangolowa imakhala kuti basi. Alesa ukagona sifuna mupange spending drama yomugula parafini kuti muike munyale mukoloboyi and you're looking at tenti zikagona. So life was pretty much happening within just that period from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then kunabwera esco mwana ikaika mapolo and then analumikiza magets. All of a sudden, things changed. And all of a sudden, my services, also Guisan markets, they were being replaced by Zintos Guisan markets. So you would find, let's say, the guys at my D0, is also phased out. Okay, kunabwera zigayo za markets. And kunabwera some business also nasiyananga ma video show and zina zote. Okay, so just that electric technology that's coming in the area, stuff yambiiiiiiri has been changed into now we are relying on electricity. And that's pretty much what also happens when let's say kumalo kwapita nseo. Kumalo kwapita nseo, everything changes. So the life of people now revolves around since you are able to connect with one place to the next, the life changes. And that's what's happening right now. Okay, what's happening right now is anthu ambiri, akugula mafoni, akugula macomputers, anthu ambiri akubwera pa internet. And what is happening is that most people are spending much of their waking time on the internet. And we're not just talking about Kumayagu, we're talking about everywhere in Africa and everywhere in the world. We spend much of our times on the digital space. Okay, and now everybody is thinking, okay, how can we get every service on the digital economy? How can we get every service on the digital space? And that's where everyone is going. And if you to kutalira stuff my services my products we are still not being able to access them on the digital space, even though it's the space where now a lot of people are joining and a lot of people are spending much of their waking time on. All right, but let's continue because there's a lot of things that I want to talk about here. Now, the next thing is, okay, what are the models of earning on the digital economy? Okay, we'll talk about my skills. My skills in Airbnb, we'll talk about that. Web development, graphic designer. Before we talk about my skills, we need to talk about, okay, my skills, how do you monetize them? Or how do you earn from them? Like if I learn, let's say, e-commerce, okay, then how do I monetize that skill? How do I earn? How do I get money from that skill? Now, there's just a lot. There's literally a lot, let me tell you here. First, remote jobs. For example, technical writing. Okay, digital technical writing, that is umatakulembaka documentation yama software, which is something I do with watu. Okay, so is that you would probably an organization that creates software could employ you could uzilemba technical documentation. this is something my universities will never teach. So if you learn technical writing, you might be able to get a remote job where people will say, hi, we've developed a software and we want you to write the documentation for that software. So that's remote jobs. And, this is the thing about remote jobs. All across the world, my organizations are looking for ways to save money. If you have a skill, like let's say you have a skill in let's say data analysis, okay? And then there's an organization in Europe that are looking for a for data analysis. You're from Africa. For you, let's say $10 an hour is a lot of money. If you work, for example, for 8 hours, that's $80 per hour. That's pretty much like per month. Now you're getting that in a single day. That for you is a lot of cash. For them, as an organization, as a company in Europe, it's not a lot of money. And this is why a lot of people, like a lot of organizations across the world, they are now, turning to these different markets like India, like Africa, because they know they're going to be cheaper. But then, of course, they have to find and chito agagwira. So butakauti iweyo chito utawigwira sobuno bwino ngati munthu wa Europe, but then, you're cheaper and everyone wants to save money. They will get you. And that's pretty much what's going on right now. There's like, you probably know what we talk about ku China, ku US, like production yawo yakatundu ambiri mapachitikira ku China. Why? Because there's cheap labor. So all the production yakatundu ya ku US, it happens in China. Well, we talk about, okay, my customer service people. Most of the times our customer service I'm a India. Why? Because there's cheap labor there. They have the skills to provide customer service, but there's cheap labor. So it goes the same. Like if you have all of the skills that are needed, then you get a job. Next, you have freelancing. So freelancing is where you have the skill. You're not necessarily employed. You're just working as a contractor. Okay, we know akangofuna kuti abangire design logo yake. You have the skills, you can design a logo, and you have examples of some logos that you have done which are really nice. Then Pali my platform Upwork. We're going to talk about this in great detail. But my platform where you actually list, where you go there and you say kuti Ineyo ndimapanga, and then fans talk okay, if Ineyo in the project I want you to help me by developing a logo. That's freelancing, and then they'll pay you for that. Okay, it's not just logo design or whatever. Everything, like every skill that I'll talk about here, Pali and on the internet looking for people who should help them with that specific thing. And if you have the skill in that specific thing, then you might actually get money on the internet by providing that service. And then we have content creation. Okay, and content creation is like you can create text, videos, audio. Okay, you're creating like even files like books and things like that. So you could be selling books, you could be selling courses, you could be selling different kinds of content, videos and things like that. Okay, so that's content creation. Ineyo, I do that. Like I create courses, I teach people online. I will create a course that is self-paced, and they will buy that and they will learn, they get certificates and things like that. Okay, that's content creation. And then you can also create content, for example, on YouTube, and then monetize so that they will put adverts on your video. And then, because those people will pay YouTube, then you split some money between you and YouTube. So YouTube is going to be paying you because they have placed an advert on your video. Again, we'll talk about this in way greater detail because in the YouTube channel, imene ndimapanga zimenezo. So every month end, I'm from YouTube because they placed adverts on my videos. We'll talk about that. It's really dope. And then we have selling digital products. We've already talked about, let's say, courses. You can sell courses as a digital product. You can sell books as a digital product, templates, and things like that. So you can sell even photos, even images. You can take genuine nice photos and then sell them on the internet. You can design my illustrations and things like that. You can also design art and things like that and actually sell those things as well. You can make music. Okay, you can make, let's say, my instrumental beats and then sell those. So anything that you can make, any media you can make, any digital media you can sell it online because there are people who are looking for those things so that they can use in whatever they try to do. And then we have teaching. We've already talked about teaching, coaching, and consulting. Okay, so I do the live teaching. Sometimes people come and send me an email and say, "Need assignment," or "I need to learn this specific thing for this specific reason because I need to do this," and then I can provide them with coaching or teaching or tutoring. Okay, now if you have knowledge in ngini nakhe, let's say wamaliza kumene, here's the thing, wamaliza kumene. Let's say college, university, okay? Or umata masamu kwambiri, umata English kwambiri. That's knowledge that you can sell on the internet, okay? Like I always even talk about teachers. Why would a teacher be poor? Like you have the knowledge, everybody's on the internet looking for knowledge. Why would you be poor? Like, why don't you sell the knowledge, right? I know it's not very straightforward and just simple, but if you get started and actually get the knowledge on how to do it, which is what I'm going to be sharing with you, then you can do that. Like, do you know how many people in the world are struggling to learn mathematics? You know English. Do you know how many people in the world are struggling to learn English? You can tutor online. There's even platforms where you can go there and say, I would tutor mathematics, I'll tutor English. And then, students will come and say, I can't understand this topic, and you can teach it to them. Okay, so you can do that. And then there's affiliate marketing. So affiliate marketing is where, let's say, like there's services or they're selling some products online. Now, in most cases, you're looking for customers, right? Now, what they do is they allow iweyo utakutenga product yawo rather, and then sell it on their behalf. Right? And basically, you're helping people find the product and buy the product, and then you earn a commission while you're doing that. That's called affiliate marketing. And then that's related to something called drop shipping. If it's a physical product, let's say we have an e-commerce website, we're selling something, then you could create your own e-commerce website where instead of buying the goods or whatever, you just connect with the main e-commerce website, whereby you will sell. And the main website will do the fulfillment. They will send the item to the customer. You just earn a commission. That's, people have made lots of money just doing that. And then there's content monetization. We've already talked about content monetization, where you create content, like you create videos, and then maybe you post those videos on social media or on YouTube, like on Facebook or TikTok, and then you monetize. Monetizing means you are allowing the platform like TikTok or YouTube to put adverts on your video so that then because they are paying, they are paying to the platform, like they're paying YouTube, advertisers are paying to YouTube, then you get a cut of that money because your video is the one that has reached people and people are watching the video. They're also watching the advertisements. Again, we'll have a video just dedicated, we'll have an episode dedicated to each one of the things that I'm talking about now. So we'll have one just dedicated to remote jobs, one dedicated to freelancing, one dedicated to content creation, to content monetization, one dedicated to drop shipping. Guys, we're gonna we're gonna really do some crazy stuff here. We're gonna, I'm here to deliver value to you. I'm here to deliver knowledge to you. And I'm super confident that if you follow, these episodes and also you follow the live workshops that we are going to start very soon, where I'm actually going to show you the hands-on of, going about this, you are going to get somewhere. And I'm super excited to take you there. Then, next question is, okay, fine. We know we can do remote jobs. We can do freelancing, content creation. But these are not the specific skills that you're selling, right? They're not the specific digital things that you're selling. Okay, these are just methods for making money out of those skills. So the question is, what are those skills? What are those digital skills that if you get them, you could make money? Like you could make money through the methods that I've mentioned. Yoambira is tech and development. Okay, developing. So, for example, web development. I do web development. I have a company, ndimapanga web development. Trust me, just think about it. How many websites do we have in Malawi? Like, how many companies don't have websites in Malawi? There's just plenty. It's just kuti, I think my company, they don't see the need, like they don't actually see kuti there's a need for them to have a website or to have an app and things like that. And that's where you need to actually come in and be like, guys, you need a website. Guys, most people are joining the internet, so you need a website. Guys, a lot of people are searching for you on the internet. They can't find you. How are people going to trust you if you don't have a website? Then we need every company to have a website. You are going to need to learn the skill of developing and designing websites. It's one skill that, so wouldn't just simple one video but once you learn it, and you're able to do it, you can like learn it within like, let's say 2-3 months. Once you are so good with it, then you can sell the service. Now, there's also some related skills related to web development, related to app development, to designing of user interfaces, and things like that. What's related to that is now web services. So, ukapanga design website, umenea kuti khale pa timati web hosting. Then you may not come at domains. All of these things this might be new to you, but don't worry about it. We're gonna go through these like one by one. Okay, I'm gonna have workshops where dedicated to explaining to what's a domain, what's hosting, how can you buy hosting, how can you sell hosting, how can you sell domains, right? Things like that. So that's that. Secondly, we have data analysis. I teach data analysis. I have a platform called Data for Development, where ndimapanga how to analyze data, how to collect. Of course, it's more tailored for non-profit organizations. So I teach things like, okay, how do you collect data? How do you analyze data? Now, this is a huge area as well. That's like literally this area of data analytics is what gave birth to AI, to artificial intelligence. Because once you know data analytics, then you probably want to know data science, inferences and things like that, and then you go to artificial intelligence, which is blowing up. Again, we're gonna have a whole episode where we're talking about AI as well. Okay, so that's that. If you can learn data analytics, if you're able to collect data, analyze data digitally, make inferences, write reports, and things like data visualizations and things like that, then you could use the methodologies I've talked about, like freelancing, jobs, content creation around those topics, maybe providing the digital service like coaching and things like that around the areas of data analytics, and you will make money. And then we have design and creative work. So you could be a graphic designer, you could be an animator, okay? My animations, my cartoons and things like that, video editing. Those are digital skills. Again, these can apply across all of the things I've mentioned, all of the methodologies for earning money. And then we have marketing and social media management. So many companies are looking for kupanga digital marketing, maybe paid advertisement. I do paid advertisement. Like there's so many people who come to me and ask, Alexander, how can we do paid advertisement? How can we do digital marketing? You can provide that as a service. If you learn digital marketing, so many businesses and organizations that want to, people to help them with their digital marketing. Like, how do I send email marketing campaigns? How do I run a Google advertisement campaign? How do I run a Facebook advertising campaign? You can either teach people or manage advertising or freelance about these topics. Again, it applies across everything. And then we have writing, okay? Writing, like technical writing, blogging, and things like that. And comes with lots of opportunities as well. And then we have online businesses, things like e-commerce, things like being a virtual assistant, things like customer support. We've already talked about affiliate marketing with course development, selling courses, selling coaching. Well, again, look at this. Okay, it doesn't matter which area of knowledge you're in, like unabanga degree and unabanga diploma and whatever. It doesn't matter. Like there is opportunity on the internet, like on the digital economy, across all of these things. All right. And then we have, we've talked about online businesses and support. And then there's media and audio design, which we've already touched on. But then you can also create like podcasts or edit videos, edit audios. We haven't talked about even other areas like even other areas like being a DJ or being a producer, like a music producer. All of that is digital skills, and all of that takes advantage of the digital economy. Okay, so the question is, okay, how do I start? We have talked about lots of different things. Yes, there's so much. Now, you need to be focused on what you're passionate about, okay? You need to pick one thing, okay? You need to pick one thing that you want to learn. Now, you shouldn't really just stick to one thing. I'll tell you for a fact. You want to start with one thing, but right now, imeneyi ndizoti people will expect you to know several things. And stuff yambiiiiiiri it's very related. So I'll give you an example. If you want to be a web developer, okay, design my websites, or you want to be a web designer, chances are you also need to be a graphic designer. At least you need to know a bit of graphic designing. You need to know a bit about designing user interfaces. You probably need to know a bit about technical writing or content writing. Okay, let's say that you say, okay, you need to find the data analyst, right? Yeah, now part of being a data analyst is maybe you need to design what we call data visualizations. That requires that you need to know a bit of graphic designing. You need to know the principles of good designs, right? Let's say you want to be a videographer or a video editor. Again, if you want to, you want to really produce nice videos, then you need to know a little bit of graphic designing as well. You need to know a bit of layout. You need to know colors and layout and things like that. You also need to know audio mixing. You cannot be a video editor without having any knowledge of audio mixing. You need to know that as well. You also need to know digital marketing, because if you're running that as a business, you need to know how to market your services as well. So each one of all of these you definitely need social media marketing, social media management strategy, and things like that. So you can see, kuti, even though you pick chinthu chimodzi china chake kuti ineyo ndiphunzira chicho ndichiyaza and stuff like that, you might actually need all these other supporting things as well. And list yase ndizimendafotokoza apa is not conclusive. Like, it's not everything that's out there. There's hundreds, probably thousands of different kind of things you can do or skills you can learn, digital skills that then you can use my methodologies to earn money on the internet. The other things that I have deliberately not touched on, I don't have experience with, so I don't talk about those things. So things like online investing, now, I don't talk about those because I don't have experience. But there's a whole like financial, maybe investing or forex, whatever. I don't talk about any of those, once again, because I have not experienced with those. But that's also part of the digital economy as well. Okay. So how do you start? One, I've already said, pick a skill. Pick a skill that you want to learn, that you want to be really good at. Next, learn the skill. Okay, once you've picked a skill, I want to be a web developer, then learn it. And learn it so well. Now, the good thing these days is that there's knowledge everywhere. Okay, you go on YouTube, there's basically a YouTube video for everything you want to learn. Okay, and then you have AI as well. You have things like ChatGPT and Google, Gemini, and even Meta AI in your WhatsApp, right? You basically have knowledge 24/7. So you can just, hey, Meta AI, tell me I want to be a web developer. Where do I start? So you need to learn the skill. Okay, as you're learning the skill, you need to practice the skill using inspiration. And that's what I do. I'll actually go on the internet and look for inspiration. Okay, if I want to be a web designer, I'll look at so many different websites. And then I try to replicate those designs. If I want to be a graphic designer, I'll go and look for my graphics, my poster, my channel, and I'll try to replicate those. So I'll be learning to close the gaps in terms of skill and knowledge on things that I cannot replicate, and then I'm able to replicate those things. If I want to be videos and I want to be on YouTube looking at other people's videos and see how can I edit like that. Okay, I want to be a photographer. How can I take pictures like that and edit them like that? Okay, if I want to be a like a data analyst, how can I be like that kind of data analyst? You get what I'm saying? Okay. Next, you need to show your work. Now, this is a very key skill. There's a lot of people who are learning these things. I can tell you, I'm not saying that people are not doing this. Like, there's so many people that I know who are learning stuff. But now the part of showing us what you do is not there. You go on their social media and you see they're just talking about, like, they're just talking about useless things. Like, dude, I thought you are, learning this thing. Why don't you show us this part of your life that you can earn money from? Okay, so show up. Say, hey, I was designing this website. Look at it. I was designing this graphic. Look at this. So you need to show up. You need to show your work. And then you need to start small and make progress. Start small and make progress. Make sure kuti anthu akuona kuti mukupanga imene zozo, and you actually saying I'm setting this, and start small. For example, you can start by creating something free for a small business, or helping one of your relatives with a web design and things like that. Again, I'm going to touch on like the strategies that you can use to start and grow. And we're gonna be on this journey together. Once again, stuff imene ndikambayi ndi stuff kuti ine ndimapanga. Okay, I have an online course platform. I do tutoring. I'm employed remotely, and then if I would want to do freelancing, I would do freelancing now. Everything I'm talking about, like most of the stuff, not everything, but most of the stuff I'm talking about here, ndimapanga, and I see all of those opportunities just buzzing every single where, and it's really sad to see kuti we're not taking advantage of that a lot. So please be with me on this journey, okay? Pick up any new and important information you can get from these videos. And we're going to have our first workshops coming soon. So once again, make sure that you click, if you haven't done that already, in the chat, rather below in the description, you have a link to join our WhatsApp channel, okay? WhatsApp channel in the minute is okay, there's a workshop, and all the live workshops will be free of charge. I'm not going to ask you for money for the live workshops. They'll be free of charge. And then all of these episodes as well are totally free of charge as well. So just click on that and subscribe to our WhatsApp channel, and then we're gonna be updating each other about upcoming videos and also upcoming workshops. Okay, let's stop there for today and see you on the next one.